I'm gonna call this regular session meeting of the Board of Trustees order, first order of business, I believe it's. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, looking for a motion to approve the regular session minutes of August the 15th.
So moved.
Second vote,
Yeah.
yes. We know that you're a busy guy, you got things to do, places to go, so you're up.
You're my first meeting of the night. I don't really have
And the
anything. It
best,
was
you
just-
start at the top.
Yeah, so it's here, then Sharon, then Prairie.
And it's
so-
all downhill after
Yeah,
that, right?
so, I don't really have anything. I just touch base with Chief real fast, and that was it. And, I know you guys had talked about Flock, probably a few months ago, and I didn't know especially base with them because I had some information from other townships we're in, but I don't really have anything. I don't know about you guys, but I know our catalytic converter thefts have been down, and that's something I push a lot, so.
They're down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
All thefts have been down. I mean, I know Dublin hit a pretty big ring. I know we have a big ring.
Groveport hit.
Down, down in Groveport, so. But yeah, we don't really have a whole lot. Just and show my pretty face here and see if there's anything you guys need from me.
Oh, we appreciate you showing the pretty face.
I'm gonna take it, move along to my next meeting, so Chief, anything from me?
All good. You need anything to holler.
Yeah, absolutely. You got anything?
All right,
Yep.
yeah, thank you. Public comment period, Brookside.
We just finished a survey, a round of surveys with our residents about focus and priorities for the next year. We're finalizing rebids to get the entrances rebuilt. With Woods Landscaping coming in as the best, so hopefully that'll happen before winter. And next event will be the hog roast, which is either October 29th or November 5th, depending on when I can get my acts together.
Pushing cold weather, aren't you?
It's cold weather, but it's an away
Waiting.
game, and
Televised.
Penn State
Is the 29th.
Yeah, I would think it's. We usually like to see.
That's a 3:30 game.
Is it official now?
Yeah.
That's right, TBD.
No, it's a 3:30 game, I believe.
Or the November 5th, so that's a big part of the reason, is trying to figure out. What, and I will probably be coming to you with a request to approve closing a court for the event. Like that.
Worthington Hills. I know that they have Recycle Day coming up. I think, is it this weekend? I don't know, and then I'll wait till check it's in Epcot and Ravel.
There's nothing that I'm aware of.
Sorry.
Connor Ravallo.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. There's an issue that came up regarding the meter deduct.
Oh,
Meters.
sorry, over Ravallo.
And we're working with folks down there in regards to their irrigation systems and the price of the sewer side of things, and so. Reached out to utilities today. We're just trying to get the appropriate contact to work with them, and put a call into Joel. No, I put a call into Jim Olin about the streetlight
Oh, thank you.
request, so
Okay.
we're. Working on both those.
And then Recycle Day at Worthington Hills, that's this weekend.
Recycle Day is on the 17th.
Okay.
And I think they're gonna ask the Township to send something out. I know the Civic Association has sent something out. We did a magazine article, looked at some time ago to connect that with our Shredded Day. So we've been kind of pushing that event a little bit.
Anything else in our public comment? Moving down to zoning. I don't know whether I'm gonna do that here under Joe's development director. Anything under zoning? Okay, I'll do my update on HPOD. Development director, old business, we need to rescind resolution number 215-22 that we approved on August the 15th. I will make that motion.
Second.
Vote.
Yes.
Yes, and then we need to ratified the settlement agreement between Perry Township Board of Trustees and the City of Dublin. I will make that motion.
Second. No, go ahead.
Jim got the second vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Under. Well, old business, new business. Joe and I sat down and met with the folks off of Henderson Road, went through their packet, had a bunch of markups on their drawings, and then also their development text. They are, at the time, said they're gonna move to a condo. They're still not sure whether or not they're gonna rent or condo, but in the meeting, they were talking about condo. If they do go to condo, then we need to see the condominium documents and all that other good stuff. So more, but at the time, that was last week, we met with them. They said they were going to take 2 weeks to clean up some of that. Joe was going to meet with or do a pre-app meeting with the commission. I don't know if he talked to you about setting that up. He's been a little preoccupied with his daughter getting married this weekend, so anyways, he'll be back on it, but that he'll probably be reaching out to you about to set up that meeting, kind of similar to what we did with Brookside Development. And then once we get their drawings, we'll get it on the docket and go from there.
I did have one thing to add, and it's my fault, I forgot to ask Mary to bring this over from the last agenda. And that, well, first off, this is regarding the TIF. And a second letter has gone out to residents. I did ask them to update the language to kind of explain what a TIF is a little bit better. So what I need is a motion to set a public hearing related to the tax increment financing resolution in the proposed incentive district ORC 5709.73C for Monday, October 3rd at 6 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, but there is one other thing. I'm sorry,
Yes.
on the tip, you want to, go ahead.
Yeah, so on the tip, there was just some confusion between the letter and some conversations that were had with one of the residents over at Ravello. The way I'm reading this tip is that the upcoming public hearing will initiate the tip. And some of the information the resident received was that it was already initiated. All I could think of is maybe they were talking about the memorandum that was put into effect back in 2021. But if I'm reading this right, the public hearing is to formally initiate this TIF, is that correct?
I believe that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted, he asked me to get back to him, I just wanted to make sure because the way that letter was
It's part of the public hearing is part of the process.
process to
Needs
actually
notification.
initiate it.
It couldn't have been initiated just off of the MOU because
Mhm.
that is literally just. an
No.
MOU.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that's where the confusion came
Right.
in.
that's-
Okay.
So, but I just want to verify that with you folks before I call this gentleman back.
Anything else under development, road department?
Oh, can I go back to, so the Henderson Road, are they at the 25 unit discussion? So
Yeah.
whether it's currently just-
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And before you move on, anything new on Brookside?
Nothing. That just hurt.
Go ahead.
On the road, I wasn't able to be here this evening. He had a family event going on. He's asked for me to get a motion to approve the annual service contract for the city of Columbus, where our folks will go ahead and plow certain roads within the township. This term of the contract would be from October 15th, 2022 to April 15th, 2023.
So moved.
Second vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The only other thing was that and I did have a conversation with Jim Ramsey over at the Franklin County Engineer's Office about the drainage. What we're trying to do is put together a memo for the board that will kind of incorporate all the different information available and recommendations. Jim took a look at it. He has some follow-up information he wants us to get, which would also include a cost estimate. That'd be in a separate document, but that felt that was important for the board to have. So I did reach out to Sands and Decker, and ask for that, so.
So, to be clear, I mean, because the cost estimate is an important piece of our decision. So as I understood it, the county engineer's office is going to pay for separately for that service to be done, so that we can pull the pieces together and say, here are the options, but here's what it costs.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I did ask him, if that would be the top cost of the township, and they said that the county would pick up that cost.
Okay.
For the, but he did have some recommendations. I'll email you his red line, so you can kind of see what he was looking for and go from there.
Fire and EMS,
Nothing at this time.
police department.
My agenda is, Robert Doc Wade has submitted his letter for retirement effective December 22nd of this year.
After the cookout.
Yeah, he's, it'll be, 40 years. It actually has hit 40 years. December 22nd is his birthday. So that's why he's made that his last. So,
What are we need to accept the resignation?
yes,
Okay. I move that we accept the resignation of Officer Wade. Second.
Vote,
Yes.
yes.
What are we doing for it?
not sure. But we'll do
A
something.
couple
That's in the
Google
works.
plan.
Yeah, we're gonna
uh,
plan something for him.
Let us know.
This event. for him. He's a
And
great
what
guy.
what is the board responsible for the cookout? What do you need us to, or pay for?
We'll work out those
I
details.
said
and
we
get
can
back
figure
to
that
you.
out.
Okay.
Doc's our grill master, so.
All right.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, we had to
gonna have,
get the cookout.
I'm not sure how we're gonna do future cookouts, but
Yeah.
he promised he would be back for future cookouts if we
Oh.
need him, so.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you know what, do we wanna, I need to update you guys on, the Mount Carmel. That's one thing that we, so Dublin, through final development plan with Mount Carmel property. Dublin, I'm trying to say this in the most respectful way that I can. Dublin basically changed some things that they had approved under the planning commission approval, which basically puts Mount Carmel, at one point, it might have put the project in question. So at this point, Mount Carmel is going to build a hospital, but not medical office buildings. And at this point, they are not going to need to, they're gonna not do the Sawmill Road connection. They're only gonna do Bright Road and Emerald Parkway because they're not building it out in total. Which means they aren't going to be adding the road that we have been negotiating on. Not like, it's not gonna happen, but at this point, they're not gonna use the Sawmill access. So our access is gonna remain the same. So Beth, to your point about, should you sign it and send it? I don't know if Joe called you and talked to you or in you, but he was gonna reach out to you guys and just kind of talk to you about, but I think we hold on signing that agreement because there's no really need to do it at this point for Sawmill because they don't need our access easement.
The agreement is with Mount Carmel.
Is with Mount Carmel, correct?
So what's the only access gonna be for them?
It's gonna be Bright Road and Emerald Parkway. So they'll bring Bright Road down, but they won't, the road that they were planning on running out in front and then connecting the Sawmill, they're building that yet. Until the medical office buildings go in and all that good stuff, which may be 6 months, it may be a year, but they needed to get started on the hospital or they were gonna lose
Their contract.
their contract, so.
So. Okay.
No, go ahead.
So from a legal perspective. If you were my attorney. By the way, I have a personal injury attorney. No, I'm kidding. What, should we hold off or should we sign it?
Probably we should hold off.
Okay, that's the answer.
That does not change our access to the new Bright Road.
And like, I mean, there won't be any, we're not changing the agreement, we're just not signing it, because there's no reciprocal easement gonna happen at this point.
Because we still have our.
Right, we still have our point, and they don't need it at this point, so we are, right. So when they say, hey, we're gonna use Sawmill, that's at the point that we would then sign it, and
But if for some reason we needed to get out that way,
they're not.
They're gonna have
no,
options.
we are going to
No.
remain,
we just can't.
we are just gonna
That's right.
remain.
And Columbus can't really mess with that, then, because we're.
Right.
Nothing
Because there's nothing
changes.
to change.
There's nothing to
Okay.
change. So
Okay.
it's hurry up and wait,
The more things change, the more the things.
There you go.
so,
I did want to add that, I got the superintendent that's of the building company that's building it.
yeah,
We do have a meeting with him. I and me and probably Dan, they're gonna come in, try and do a meet and greet, introduce themselves on Monday. I think it's 11 o'clock. I'll send you all the invite just in case you wanna happen by. But he's just gonna bring, he and his team are gonna just come in and introduce themselves. It doesn't sound anything earth shattering.
Were we on police?
no, he,
Oh, no, never mind. The only thing I had was Doc.
So, can I,
go ahead,
Okay.
yeah,
so today,
They're all over the place.
at Homeland Security, so the UTV.
Yeah.
Project, which was an hour and a half meeting that turned into 2.5 hours, meeting, which I left,
Was that today?
that was today.
Oh.
So I had to catch up with Carl,
Okay.
actually, what occurred, but, so we are applying directly for the $30,000 for the UTV.
Yes,
Okay, because the system has changed, and you can apply directly.
right. The quandary is, the first one we applied for was approved. We don't know if that's gonna get switched over, so we reapplied to be safe.
Okay,
Now, the good is, we should still be okay, because we got approved for the first one. The drawback is 2 of them could show up here. And if that happens, then we'll probably reach out to another agency and say, why don't you take this? Because we don't need it.
okay.
So,
Well, the speech that I gave today, is the speech that I've been giving, which is the assets of which are funded are regional assets and should be shared
yes,
amongst the jurisdictions within the region for the express purpose of funding.
right,
And I said, and some people don't share well. Now, there were
there's usually only 1 or 2 of those.
Columbus Police, Columbus Fire, Columbus Anti-Terrorism, blah, 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 blah. And I said, without, getting too much in detail, all this funding should go to assets that are shareable,
Right,
including this one. But I didn't know. I wanted to make sure that that's the direction we were heading.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Good. We should get it. Thank you, sorry.
Madam Administrator,
Let's see here. Do you have any updates on 161? We're kind of sitting in a holding pattern right now, right? Some of the facilities. The flu shots.
oh, hey Beth, one thing on facilities, so, now that we kind of have gotten through Mount Carmel and everything like that, the question, I've been playing around in my head is, doing the same thing that we did with with the police department and that, and get the board, together to go through, sort of a, planning session in terms of facilities. Now that we know, now we have 2 plans. We have nothing's happening. So we got that. And then the other is if something does happen, what are we gonna do? So I didn't know if everybody's interested in getting together, similar to what we did with the police and zoning, and just talk about facilities. So we can decide what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how we're gonna move forward. I don't know if anybody has, any interest in terms of doing that. I think it would be beneficial just to, get facilities back into the discussion now that we're kind of through the whole Mount Carmel thing again.
Well, and that obviously came up at the citizen advisory. They're kind of, where they are, maybe this kind of fits in with the facilities discussion, is that they have another meeting in September, or this month. It's organizational. They got to elect chairs, they got to do some ethics training and all that other stuff. And then I think we were going to have the next October meeting before holiday break. We're going to have police and the road department come and talk about their strategic planning, catch them up. We weren't going to talk to them about facilities until January, so it might be a good time, this 4-month period, for the board to at least catch up where we are, kind of get in the rhythm of having a conversation, so that in concert with them, we could also have discussions about what's going on. I think we need to get serious about the direction we're heading.
Yeah.
And I think let's not waste any more time. Let's spend the next 4 months to try to at least catch ourselves up.
Right.
I think we got a pretty good plan on what it would look like to kind of redo the 3 things.
Right.
I'd like to have sort of a similar plan, but I think you gotta have a conversation that you want to have. How would it be if we basically move to one building? We know what it's gonna look like for Bright Road and all that kind of stuff, right? But how would this look if we could somehow stay in 1 of 3 buildings, or 2 out of 3, whatever the case may be? But if you just kind of started from scratch here and built something.
I mean, that's what I think having a strategic.
I mean,
meeting-
yeah, but you gotta figure out how much space you need and all that kind of stuff, but then I think an architect would say, okay, here's how that space could lay out. Here's where we would plop it down here, and you could stay in this building here, for example. You might have to merge a little bit and all that kind of stuff, but and then that would get torn down, that'd be your new parking lot, and that's where we put like the road department.
Right.
Basically stay where they're staying, but
Yeah, that's what I think, like, just having a good strategic meeting, because, like we said, we looked at the renovation plan. We think we got the police in a good spot in terms of, the overall, we'll really worked hard because, Steve's group was the one that kind of started this whole thing. I think we worked hard, got a good plan for that, and then it was just like, okay, understanding that that's going to displace Iron. So, like, to your point, okay, we have a good renovation plan. Now and even some cost, I think when we left it, we had gotten some costs in terms of, what it would cost for that renovation, the pros and the cons of it. So I just think it'd be good to sit down as the group and really discuss it and weigh out everything from that. So we're all on the same page in terms of moving forward.
Do you want me to send an email and get dates from everybody then?
Yeah, that'd be great, Beth. I mean, if everybody thinks that's a worthwhile.
So as part of that, can we go back over the plans that were done and everything in that meeting, just to make sure that we're all.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can dig out the plans and I think the last time Mike came, I don't think we need Mike to come in. So we can just kind of go through them and get everybody updated and that sort of thing, so. All right, sorry.
No worries. So the flu shot clinic, we scheduled it for September 23rd between 10 and 2. I told her between 20 to 25 people, and I have 20 people signed up. So
I'm sorry, did you say September 23rd?
okay, between 10 and 2. I just need, if anyone wants to do it, I need for them to contact me, so she brings enough vaccine. I did reach out to her today because the new Omicron shot is out, to see if they would have that available as well. I haven't heard back yet, but if they do have it, yeah, me too. If they do have it, I'll let everybody know, so you'll have
Let
that.
me know about that one.
Right, okay.
And I'm sorry, do we know, can you actually do both of those at the same time?
I know with the other COVID shot you could, you
Okay.
could do the flu, that, no, I don't know about this one,
Gotcha.
since it's, you know, right.
I'm Dr. Beth. I might know.
Play one on TV. Sorry.
And we stay-
The shredded, as hard as I tried to switch it to the bye week or the new bye week, shredded day is going to be 10:22. From 9 to 11 at Brookside, 11:30 to 1:30, in the hills, and the road department's been kind enough to say that they won't leave me standing, so they're gonna help me. And if anyone else would like to join in, feel free.
What are those times again, Beth?
9 to 11 at Brookside Elementary. And 11:30 to 1:30 at Worthington Hills.
11:30 to 1:30.
Correct. Yep. Let's see here. Okay, Chad already said the civilian advisory board will be meeting on the 27th of September. What I think I'll do is go ahead and post that, just so in the event any of y'all want to come to it, there won't be any conflict. And if you don't, that's fine too.
I'm sorry, what time is that at? You said?
It's at 6:30 here in Township. We do have it said that we're gonna have an organizational meeting, the first one, and Jen Huber is gonna come in and do our basic training of the do's and don'ts for the new board member. Let's see. Just upcoming, we've got some good information on cloud storage, Microsoft 365, and also an inventory program. That is far less expensive than the $60,000 a year. We've met with the gentleman that the salesperson from ShareNet. We also brought in Franklin County or Franklin Soil and Water into the conversation to see how that would work with them and their systems. So with it by next meeting, I hope to have proposals for each one. The sync tool and the Microsoft 365, there's going to be cost offsets. So I want to make sure I have all that information in there. The more we move off the server, the less we're going to have to worry about paying maintenance and upgrades to the server. So hopefully I'll have all of that for you on the next meeting. I did want to mention, Michelle, the auditor's office called Friday. They didn't get the initial email from you. She said she was saying that to go ahead and
To
extend.
use the same.
Right, she said she was going to email it to me. I didn't get anything, but later today I got something in.
Do you want me to- didn't I copy you on my?
You
initial
did,
email?
yeah, and I told her, I gave her the dates and everything, but
We
but
can't just forward that back, or?
yeah, that's what what I'm going to do, but I did want to make mention is that when we had Mike Burns in here talking about financing, whether it's a renovation or buildings or whatever, when I talked to him, he said that typically we do the agreed upon audit, which is just a very brief type of an audit. I need to talk to him again and confirm this, but from my memory, he said that if you're going to go out for financing, you need a full audit in order to take that to the financial institutions. So I'll find out that for sure. And then y'all just need to decide which route you'd want to take.
Okay, let me know what you find out, please.
Yeah, I just,
I
just kinda- right.
So what's the cost and money and time? For full blown?
I'll get back to see what the last one was. I'm sure it's increased.
We've been able to do an AUP most recently. I mean, not only is it the cost, but it's also the amount of effort for the folks here in the office.
Well, fortunately, Mary runs a pretty nice.
Oh,
clean
yeah,
ship.
for sure.
So where it used to be us being pulled away all the time, she has everything in order. That's not so much of an issue like it used to be. But I know we've done two or three agreed upon audits, then they required us to have a full audit, then we were back in
Right.
another cycle. And so any case, I just wanted to bring that
So you'll
up.
find out what.
I will find out and I'll let y'all
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Yep. And then that's it for me.
Hey, Beth, I started
Oh.
to dig in on this and have some questions. So how do you want to
Well, I'm sorry, I meant to do that, so, Mary and Luke worked diligently to get all the numbers put together for me, so I could go ahead and do these. Did you see the spreadsheets in
I
Dropbox?
did, yeah,
If there's like, when I noticed something was higher
Yeah.
or something, there was a significant change, I made comments in those, which is obviously
And
a
those
little,
cells.
little red arrow
Yeah.
in the cell or triangle. But yeah, if you want to just email me questions, that's fine, or if you
Well,
want to sit.
I
that way
had
can
quite a few
research it.
questions, I wasn't, I would have liked the opportunity to go through it, before tonight, so if we can, I'll take my questions to you then, or to Mary and Luke.
Well, I'm the one that put all the numbers, finalized all the numbers,
Great.
so that would.
Then, hopefully we can. I mean, if the board has questions, we can address those as well.
But I did want to mention all of those numbers are reconciled with the UAN. Down to the penny in that.
So one of the questions on the spreadsheet that I had was it lists first quarter under, I was just looking at the police and it says first quarter. Was that a typo or? was
Are you
that-
looking at the tabs at the bottom?
No, up at the top, it says, oh, let's see.
Maybe I missed a header.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's through 6:30, but it says,
Yeah, if the figures are in there for 6:30,
it says expenditures first quarter at the top right here. But the numbers look like they're right here.
yeah,
Expenditure first quarter, are those first quarter or are those through the second quarter?
looking at the, so you're on this second tab here, right? Whoops.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. All
we
right,
just continue it quarter
I-
to quarter, so
I
you get
got
a huge.
okay, that
comparatively
makes sense.
Comparing to the other years.
Yeah, cool.
Well, Beth, I'll reach out to you then, so perhaps you and I can meet before the next meeting.
All right. Um, go down to it. Fiscal officer,
A request approval of payroll and disbursements,
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
and then also request a motion to accept the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Franklin County Auditor.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Vote.
Yes.
Yes. And then we have an executive session, so I move by roll call vote to enter into executive session concerning employee compensation concerning the ORC 121-22 G1 by roll call vote.
Mr. English.
Yes.
Mr. Cheney.
Yes.
Mr. Roper.
Yes.
Cool.